Hi guys, it's Krista from Playing with a Purpose. Seeing as how Earth Day is just around the corner, I wanted to hop on here real quick and show you some of my favorite Earth Day books, toys, and activities. If you're new here, my name is Krista and I'm a childcare provider for up to 5 children. And on my channel, you'll find tips and tricks, all things related to childcare, shopping hauls, and the odd family vlog. To get started, I'm going to show you my favorite Earth Day books. So for toddlers and preschoolers, I love this little book called Trashy Town. This is a great book that has simple text, really cute pictures. It's a book about Mr. Jilly, the garbage man, who goes around the town and he collects all the garbage. I love that there's repetition in the book, and there's a little phrase that says, dump it in, smash it down, drive around the trashy town. So that phrase you'll see throughout the whole book, and it's just a really sweet story for young children. The next one is called I Stink. I also love this book because it has alphabet garbage. So the children will be able to recognize the letters in the book. A, apple cores, B, banana peel, C, candy wrapper, D, dirty diaper. So this is a great book that focuses on the letters of the alphabet. This is another great book called I Am a Garbage Truck. This one's really unique because it comes in the shape of the garbage truck. This book has some new language that the children may not have been exposed to before. Most of the text is very familiar words, but they throw in a few new words that they may not have heard before, so it's a great way to build on the children's vocabulary. And when we get to words like that, such as, I put the garbage into my hopper and crush it. So you can explain what the hopper is on the truck. And another word they may not be familiar with is landfill. And so you can explain that all the garbage has to be taken somewhere, and that is called a landfill. I have another book called Garbage Trucks. I love this book because it has real photographs in it, and the children will be able to recognize the different trucks that they may have seen on the road. And it also shows where the garbage goes. I have this book called Recycling. This is a great little story that just has a whole bunch of questions. Look at that. Where does it all come from? What happens when the containers are full? Do the clothes go here? What about the shoes? Did you recycle the old batteries? Don't use a bag unless you have to. So I love this story because it teaches the children things that they can do themselves to help keep our environment clean. Things like keeping the compost to feed the bunny with, which we like to do with our bunny Sugar, and recycling clothing that no longer fits, passing it on to someone, and growing our own vegetables. So it's just a great story that teaches the children all different kinds of concepts about recycling. This one's called A Day in the Life of a Refuse Collector. And so that's another term for garbage collector. And again, this one is just walking the children through what it's like to be a garbage collector and what their job entails. So this is a great way, again, for them to kind of look inside and see what kind of things happen in a workday being a garbage collector. This is another great book called The Earth Book. This is written by Todd Parr. This is a great one to teach the children what they can do to take care of the earth. This is another book that I like to take out just to expand the children's understanding of what the earth really is. It's a big concept for them to fully grasp. And so one of the ways I like to do that is explain what the earth is. So this is a great one to talk about how the earth is something that we want to cherish and take care of. And the earth has lakes and mountains and trees and ocean life and deserts and Arctic and glaciers and rainforests. So this is a great book to explain to the children what exactly the earth is. So this is another great book to teach the children how they can help take care of the earth. And the last one, I find this book a little bit too wordy for my children. So if I were to use this one in my classroom, I would definitely have to paraphrase, but it's a cute story about the cubs learning about the earth and the things that pollute the earth. So they go on in a little investigation to figure out different ways that they can change and make things better. So those are my favorite Earth Day books. So now I'm going to show you some of the toys that I like to put out during the week of Earth Day. Obviously, we have to have a garbage truck. I took out the 48-piece Melissa and Doug floor puzzle of Canada, and I also have a simpler version of the map of Canada in a wooden format. And then I also have a map of the world, also in a wooden format. During one of my circle times, I'm going to talk about what the Earth is and how the Earth is made up of both land and water. So I thought this globe would be a really good visual for the children to help understand how big our Earth is. To throw in some gross motor, I thought it would be fun to take out a blue scarf to represent water and a couple of earth balls. And so what I'm going to do with the scarf is have each of the children take a corner of the scarf and then place the world balls in the center. And then on the count of 3, we'll throw up the scarf in the air and watch the balls jump and see if we can catch them. For a really simple craft activity, so each of the children will get some green and blue strips of paper, and their learning objective for this is just simple cutting and pasting, and they're just going to simply cut with their scissors and glue their land and water on a paper plate. Gluing and pasting is such an important skill. It's something we want to practice often. This is a super simple tray activity where I just have the word Earth spelled out, and then in a little basket I'm just going to put the letters to spell Earth, and the children can match the letters that spell Earth. I made sure to space out the letters when I printed the word Earth so that it would fit with these giant letters. When I wrote out the word Earth, I made sure to leave space in between so that the children could easily match up the letters underneath. As opposed to making the word too small, then it's sometimes harder for them to follow and match the letters up. The next activity I got off of Play to Learn Preschool, and she has a free printable with both capitals and lowercase. I usually focus on uppercase for my children, so I just printed off the uppercase for mine, but basically I put in some green sand that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and then she recommended using a stick for tracing the letter, and the children are basically going to just trace the letter A, and then just as an added activity, I put out a basket of stones so that the children can place. So after the children have traced the letter with the stick, they can then place the little rocks on top. The next activity is using these recycling bins from the Dollar Tree. And for my younger children, I'm just going to give them a set of tongs, and the children will simply pinch the piece of recycling, put it in the corresponding recycling bin. So this is great for hand-eye coordination. It's also great for color matching as well as fine motor. Super simple to set up and great for the little ones. For my older children, I made it a little more complicated, and what I did was on each of the bins, I put numbers. So on this one, there's numbers 1, 2, and 3. On this one, 4, 5, and 6. And on this one, 7, 8, and 9. And so in the basket, I have crumpled up paper, and on the paper, I've placed some numbers. Going along with Earth Day, I wanted to make sure that I could use this again from year to year, and so I just placed some tape on top so that I didn't lose the sticker, and then I just crinkled them up, and the children are going to take a piece of recycling, and they're going to read the number, in this case it's 7, and then they're going to look on the lid to see which recycling bin it belongs in. So this one would be number 3, and then they would have to look for which bin it belongs in. It's super simple, easy to do, and you can use it from year to year. It's always great to look at the different learning objectives that you're trying to work on and just keep working on them. So In this case, we haven't focused very much on number activities. So I wanted to work on numbers a little bit more. So this was a really easy activity to set up. And the last activity I have is a basket of animals. And I just laminated this. This is scrapbooking paper. And so it was beach scrapbooking paper, and I just wrote the word water with letter stickers. This one is mountains, and I just put the word land. And then this one is air. And so I just put cloud scrapbooking paper. So for this activity, the children will take an animal from the basket and they'll decide if it belongs in the air, the land, or the water. So they'll just place that on top. This is a great activity to build on the children's understanding of what our world is made up of: land, water, and air. If you have any fun Earth Day activities or new books that I haven't mentioned, please message me over on my Instagram account called Playing with a Purpose, and I'd love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed these Earth Day activities. I'm Krista with Playing with a Purpose. I'll see you next time.